as an academic, it has probably been my best experience in my, I don't know, 10, 12 years of actually developing curriculum, teaching, working with student partners is probably been the most beneficial experience around developing curriculum because it gave me an opportunity to understand the student voice from a very different perspective. In the sense that traditionally we use feedback, the forms that people fill. I always call them post-mortem forms in the sense that you're asking someone who has, enjoyed a 5 course or who has had a 5 course meal, and then at the end of that process, you say, okay, how can I improve this meal? When you could have actually asked them at the first, in terms of saying, what are you expecting from this menu? What are you expecting from this meal? So I've always struggled with that feedback process in the sense that students at times, I think, I put myself in their shoes and say, look, what's in it for me really to give, feedback in week 14, which might not have been useful for me in terms of my learning experience. If I'd provided this feedback maybe in week 5 or week 6, that could have enhanced my learning experience. That could have enhanced, everything at the end of the process. Fine, it might benefit the others that come, but it's not every student who's going to think like that. So I think the partnership pedagogy that we did with 21C1 allowed us to specifically, personally, to understand the importance of the student voice in terms of what students actually think about our curriculum development. A classic example would be, as academics, we're so preoccupied with emphasizing learning outcomes. And I was shocked in that interaction with students that at times they don't really even understand or place much value about learning outcomes in the manner in which we actually put them in our learning guides. But of course, as universities, we always have to have policies and guidelines, around design and quality. But I think it challenged us to think differently about how we should communicate with students. For me, that was a key lesson. And the second lesson, I guess, was the fact that I think both Neil and I looked at that partnership in a very different way from our champions, from other champions, I guess. We deliberately chose to empower the students to have a very definitive contribution in the co-creation and co-design process. And I think that was very useful in the sense that it took us out of our comfort zone and we're able to draw not just on the individual strengths of the students, but the fact that they could connect with the student ecosystem, something that I could not do. I can't walk to students and ask them questions. There's always that gap that is there, even though we might have, good relationships. I think working with students gave us that different perspective in terms of allowing us to get the student voice. Look, I could go to town about talking about that experience. I guess I've been saying to a number of colleagues who are either skeptical or not aware of the value of student partnerships, working with student partners. But I guess it's because if you've not done it, you can never really appreciate and understand what it means. So I think it's important for some of us who have been involved in that process to be advocates of that process in terms of saying that process actually brings a significant difference to curriculum development, a significant difference to how you think about students as your target audience. I think, personally, that should actually be something that all curriculum development initiatives should have, as a matter of fact, in terms of saying, do you have student partners as part of your partnership pedagogy? Because it really adds the value. We're talking about empathy and connection earlier on. And that's part of it. You're talking to an audience that you don't have any connection with. So student partnership allows you to have that connection. And hopefully, it can be broadened to have more students also participate in that. From a student point of view, I guess, it would also be interesting to find out how you found the experience, as a partner. But I think from an academic point of view, as I said, I could go on and on and on. But in summary, as I said, fantastic, value-adding experience. It has improved my practice. It has improved my attitude. It kind of kicked my love for my job in so many ways, actually. I look forward to our meetings. I look forward to your insights. I look forward to how you thought differently, about the way we looked at things. And I think that's yeah, that's something that's very joyous, and that was an exciting experience.